Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping straight into an amazing animated adventure packed with ancient kings, magical dreams, and a huge, towering secret. Get ready, because today's story is taking us on a thrilling trip right back in time. Let's get to it.
Okay, think about this for a second. Have you ever been so scared that you made up a completely new rule or, kept a massive secret just to protect yourself? When we're afraid, we sometimes do pretty silly or strange things instead of just telling the whole truth. Well, guess what? Even some of the most famous people from history did the exact same thing.
Section 1. A Journey and a Secret. Abraham moves to Gerar.
So our story kicks off with a man named Abraham and his beautiful wife Sarah. They were traveling through this vast, dusty desert. But Abraham got so incredibly scared of the people living there that he told a giant secret. He went around telling everyone Sarah was actually just his sister. And because of this big secret, King Avimelekh genuinely thought Sarah wasn't married. So he sent his royal guards to take her right into his incredible palace.
Section 2. A very scary dream. A midnight warning.
Now, while the king was fast asleep, God stepped right into the story to save the day. He came to Abimelech in a dream and delivered a really scary warning. God told him, "You are about to die because of the woman you have taken, since she is someone's wife." God was basically letting the king know, hey, this is a massive mistake. As you can imagine, the king was absolutely terrified. He quickly defended himself, explaining to God that his hands were innocent and his heart was pure. Why wouldn't he? Both Abraham and Sarah had looked him right in the eye and promised they were brother and sister. The poor king literally had no idea he was doing anything wrong.
God totally knew the king was telling the truth, so he gave him a super clear plan to fix everything. Step 1, safely return the wife. Step 2, Abraham, who happens to be a prophet, will pray for the king. And step 3, the king and his people will live. Boom! A perfect path right out of danger.
Section 3. The king wakes up. A morning of fear. Avimelekh woke up super early and immediately called all his servants to tell them about this terrifying dream. And he didn't waste a single second. He called Abraham right into his throne room. Looking completely upset and confused, the king asked a giant question. What have you done to us? He really wanted to know why Abraham would risk bringing such a huge sin upon the entire kingdom.
Section 4. Abraham explains his fear. The story behind the secret.
So Abraham finally explains the big why behind his scary half-truth. He told the king that years ago, when he first left his father's house, he was absolutely terrified that strangers would hurt him just to take his beautiful wife. So, to stay safe, they literally made up a special brother and sister rule for their journey. And they were still using it to this day. Now get ready for a wild twist. Abraham admitted that what he said wasn't actually a total lie. He told the king, "She actually is my sister." You see, back in ancient times, families were a little different. Sarah was technically the daughter of Abraham's father, just from a different mother. So he wasn't completely lying, but he definitely wasn't telling the whole truth either.
Section 5. Gifts and Happy Endings. The king makes it right.
Once the secret was finally out in the open, King Avimelekh wanted to make absolutely sure things were right between them. He safely returned Sarah. And to prove there were zero hard feelings, he gave Abraham some seriously incredible, lavish gifts. We're talking loads of fluffy sheep, huge strong cattle, and plenty of servants to help them on their journey.
But wait, the gifts didn't stop there. The king gave Sarah an astonishing 1,000 pieces of silver. He did this to prove to everyone, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that her name was completely cleared and she was fully respected in the kingdom.
And what about step 2 from the king's dream? Well, just as God promised, Abraham prayed for the king, and right away, God completely healed the king and his entire household. Everyone was safe, healthy, and back on the right track together.
Section 6. God protects his promises. Food for thought. And here is your big food for thought for today. The moral of Genesis 20 is that God protects his promises despite human failures, fear, and deception. Even though Abraham messed up because he let his fear take over, God still stepped right in to faithfully protect him, Sarah, and the king. Thank you so much for joining me on this colorful, high-energy explainer adventure. I really hope you loved learning about this amazing story as much as I loved sharing it with you.
So the next time you get really scared, are you going to try to hide it with a secret? Or will you trust that telling the truth is always the best path? Think about it. Like, share, and subscribe.